Caramel House?
The Caramel House was something that I had been connected with, oh, I don't know, since maybe I was about 10 years old. Because when my mother and my father separated, my mother found us a place on 39th Street, 39th between Central and Cedar. Caramel House, at that time, I thought was connected to the playground, the Grant Playground, which was also on 39th Street. And it kind of ran from 39th to 38th. And Caramel House was on 38th and Central. So one day when I was in the playground, and I don't remember whether it was after school or in the summer, I only remember that I had to have been 9 or 10 years old because I had not yet started junior high school. I was still at RBA's elementary school. At the end of the playground, on one side of the playground, was a basketball court. And of course, it was pretty much the older guys, the older boys, who got a chance to play on the basketball court. So some of us who were younger used to stand and watch them play basketball. Now, there's another thing that you may sound a little strange, but the basketball court, which was cement, was surrounded by an area of crushed rock. And so I was standing in that area with crushed rock, and for some reason or other, standing there in the area, looking at those little pieces of rock, and there was a fence around the playground, and right next to that fence was the building that served as the Caramel, or then it was not the Caramel, because we didn't call it Caramel then, because it was next to the playground. Everybody called it the Playhouse. And so I got up a handful of those rocks, and I thought it would be interesting to see how many of those little rocks could I throw through the through the fence rather, to hit the playhouse. No intention of disturbing anybody particularly, no intention of breaking anything, just I thought since I couldn't play basketball with the big boys, and rather than just stand doing nothing, that this little rock practice might be something interesting for me. So I was throwing through the fence, and I got lucky, and a couple of times I hit the side of the playhouse. Now, up on the second floor, which was offices for the people who ran the playhouse, Mrs. Jelliff, the lady who was one of the directors of the playhouse, evidently saw me throwing the rocks through the fence, and she evidently thought I was somebody who needed something else to do. So she said, "Little boy," looked up, "Little boy, come over here." And I tried to figure, well, now, what come over here means just what? Because I know, or I realized, throwing those little rocks, trying to hit that building was wrong. So I had my choice to ignore that come over here and run on home, or do as my mother had always taught me to. If older folks ask you to do something, you say, "Yes, ma'am," "Yes, sir," and you do it. So Jelliff said, "Little boy, come over here." I figured, all right, I guess I better get on over there, because also Mrs. Jelliff was known for coming out of the playhouse and walking to kids' houses to talk to their parents. Now, of course, I didn't know this at the time, and so maybe it's kind of a lucky thing that I did decide to come over, leave the playground, go on to the porch of the playhouse while she came downstairs onto the porch, and she didn't come with a switch or her fist ball. She put her arm around me and said, "Come here. It looks like we need to give you something to do." I said, "What?" And she said, "What kind of things do you like?" And I was thinking, what did she mean? And I didn't give her an answer. She said, "Well, I have some suggestions for you. I'm going to take you over here to our other building." And at that time, the playhouse consisted of 3 different buildings, and she took me across the small yard to a 2-story building, and in that 2-story building was the art gallery, or well, I should say the art shop, because it wasn't really a gallery.